Hey guys, it's Nevaeh and I'm here to sprinkle my thoughts on you. So I just had a few thoughts, and I feel like whenever something is on my mind, it's best to get it out while my thoughts are still flowing, so they could flow how they would flow in my brain basically. So I basically just wanted to talk about how like different people are on different vibrations and how certain vibrations match and certain frequencies match, and like we receive waves off of each other that we don't even realize that we're receiving. But one of the things that made me think about this was because I was watching a video and she was saying, there was this lady talking to this man, and in the video the lady was saying, whenever you go to a doctor's, when the doctor comes in the coat and you're sitting there, you know who's more dominant. Whenever there's a teacher in front of the class and all the desks are there, you know who's more dominant. There's definitely a feeling of hierarchy, and it's something that doesn't need to be explained. There's something that doesn't need to be said. You just automatically know it because you're feeling it when you're in that room. And I was thinking, that is so true. Like, we really do just feel things sometimes. Like, of course we're taught you need to respect your elders, or you need to respect, but nobody tells you when you go to that doctor's office, you make sure you respect that doctor, because the doctor, nobody has to tell you that, but you can feel the hierarchy. She was like, just how the doctor never gets sick, it's because the doctor vibrates on the frequency that he is a healer, that he's meant to heal all of these sick people. So because his mind tells himself that he's the healer, his body reacts off of that and doesn't get sick. Basically said, like, the doctor is also immune to dealing with people who are on the frequency of people who are sick. So whenever he's around them, it's like nothing to him. He doesn't feel like he's gonna get sick from them. He doesn't have that thought, because he's so used to being on the frequency of the healer that he's immune to the frequency of the sick, and he doesn't get sick because of them. So I was like, oh, this is tea. This is good. This is good. And I just thought that was such a beautiful way to put it. That was like such a good way to put it, such a good way to explain it, because sometimes people are probably like, what do you mean you're on a different frequency? Like, how is your frequency different? And for me too, I tell myself, like, I know I'm on a different frequency than a bunch of people. And by being on a different frequency, it's not the thought of like, it's not that you think you're better than anybody else, but you genuinely have the understanding that your path is just different from the path of other people. And I feel like a lot of it just has to do with like being on a different frequency. And it's like, once you understand what actually being on a different frequency means, I feel like it actually helps you maneuver through life differently. And really, to be on a different frequency means to attract different things than other people are attracting, because of the thoughts that you put in your brain. And you understand that your thoughts are so powerful, and that it leads to everything else in your life. Just how some people are like, oh, this person was lucky and they got rich. And I'm sure a lot of people who get rich are lucky, but a lot of people who get rich just put themselves in a million different, maybe not a million, but they put themselves in many different spaces to attract what they believe that they deserve. For example, like, if you want to be rich, if you want to be on the frequency of a rich person, you're obviously going to start doing things that you see rich people doing, whether it's waking up early, or it's reading books, or downloading courses, or even working out. Like, you start to put yourself on vibrations, the same vibrations of a rich person, by doing the things that they do. And then you also are open to receiving, but the only way that you could receive is by putting yourself on a vibration, by doing other things that rich people do, such as starting different businesses, studying, educating yourself on YouTube, reading books, being open to failing, being open to starting something and failing over and over and over again. And that's how people who aren't rich become rich, because they do the same things and put themselves on the same vibrations and frequency as the rich. They start doing things, and they are also open to failing. And people who are rich have to be open to failing. You have to be willing to start a business, and you know the risk that comes with starting a business or starting something is the risk of failing, but you're open to that. So before you have money, if you're open to the risk of failing and you still pursue a million different things anyway, that is a form of you putting yourself on the vibration of somebody who is rich, somebody who believes that they deserve money, who believes that if they keep taking chances, one of the chances that they take will eventually get them further in life. And you keep having that mindset. And yeah, I just think it's so powerful and it's so important to know why you should be on a certain frequency. It's important to understand the frequencies and the vibrations that you have been on. And it's important to really analyze your entire life and what you've been thinking, how you've been thinking, and what you have and have not been doing. And after you do that, you can look forward and you can start making changes, and you can start doing things to change the frequency. But once you start changing the way you think, once you start changing the circumstances you put yourself into, it leads you to the next thing that leads you to the next thing. But it all depends on the frequency that you're on. You feel me? Like I said, if you want to be rich, you literally have to adopt the mindset of a rich person and start doing the things that the rich person is doing, and then you will receive money like the rich person. And of course, you don't have to copy everybody. Not what everybody is doing is not the right thing, but I'm just saying, like, the fundamental things that you have to do. Once you start doing those things, you're automatically putting yourself on a certain vibration and a certain frequency. But most importantly, I think the most important thing about everything that I've been talking about right now is your mind. Making sure that you understand what your mind thinks and why you have been in certain circumstances. And you also have to hold yourself accountable for the ways that your mind thinks. You cannot become a better person, or you cannot grow and elevate if you don't hold yourself accountable for the ways that you have been thinking and the ways that you have been doing things. Once you start holding yourself accountable, before you know it, you're going to be so far in life. But you have to hold yourself accountable and be willing to change, be open to growth, be open to failing, and be mindful of the frequency that you are on. If you're upset, if you're mad, how can you attract the things that you want? You're not even, if you're upset, then you're not grateful. And sadness and gratitude don't reside in the same spots. Acknowledge your emotions, acknowledge your thoughts, acknowledge what you are and aren't doing, and be open to growing and failing. So anyways, that was me sprinkling my thoughts on you guys. Holla at your girl. Be real or be real.